Center Stage, brought to you by Grosvenor Road Studios.
Hello, hi guys, welcome to Center Stage here at Grosvenor Road Studios. I'm here with FONZi NeuTRON. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Now
Good. So FONZi, do you want to tell us a little bit about your musical journey from the start? It's been a long one.
Yeah, from the start. Okay, I'll probably start by saying music has been something that's always been very emotive to me. So from some of my first early memories of hearing music and I'll say experiencing music,
Yeah.
it's something that I've always felt an emotional connection with. Like, you know, some people listen to music and, you know, they kind of bob along to the sounds and stuff like that, but there's that level when you make a connection with it. I think it's a deeper level of understanding. Yeah. So, we could go into looking at just how music affects us in different levels of frequency and how it affects our brain. Like myself, I've always been an avid learner, so music's something that I've learned a lot from, because I can say even emotional experiences that I may not have felt myself at the time, I have learned the consciousness of those feelings through listening to music. So looking at things in a broad aspect like that, I think music was something that was always going to have a heavy influence in my life. So, growing up, I was always inclined to do musical things. Come from a musical family, we love music, music's always playing, strong part of our culture growing up. With my brother, we used to, we'd be in the house and we'd be spitting along to whether it's ragga, whether it's hip hop, beats just clashing, doing that kind of thing like that. Over the years, I've always done stuff musically, recorded music with, video cameras and stuff like that, doing our own kind of thing, just creatively, just messing around, but just taking that and continuing over the years and developing and just expanding upon it.
Do you remember the moment that you decided to pursue music? Was there like a moment that you can remember?
I'd say, I knew music was something that's always going to be a part of my life.
Yeah.
The older I got, I formed a mindset to see music as the sound of the world, the sound of the universe, and just the actual feeling in sound encapsulated in different forms. So there was never a point where I thought I'm going to pursue music, because I don't see music as something that I pursue, but as something that I do, something that's a part of me, something that's so innate to me that it comes out naturally, and especially being such a poignant part of my expression as a person and all of that stuff there. So there hasn't really been a point where I thought this is it. I mean, I've lived life and I've experienced this world and others, but
we'll get into that later.
But experiencing this world and just the format of it, I'd say it took me some years to really get to a point where I just understood what this society is, seeing it for what it is, experiencing it for what it is, feeling it out for what it is. That's something that I can't, think that you can just give to somebody and say, okay, well, you're going to get this at this point or that point. Some people never get that. They live their whole life and they don't actually see life for what it is or see the world for what it is. So, musically.
So do you put some of that into your music, those experiences that you have?
Yeah. I mean, my music, realistically speaking, that is all you're going to get. You're going to get my experiences. You're going to get my expression. You're going to get my thoughts. You're going to get my personality. There's not really anybody you can make a comparison to and say that I'm going to be like them, because I do me. And nobody's going to do me better than me doing me.
I just want to highlight one of the phrases that you use. No swears allowed.
Not one, man.
Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit where that came from, what that means to you? No swears allowed.
It's crazy because a lot of the things that they're trying to teach you, the way that they teach you, you may not necessarily respond to the facts behind it or the use of it. So I mean, it's like looking at geometry and stuff like that, and a square for what it is, and going into the different elements of that shape. But I won't go too deep on that point. But how I see ourselves in the society that we live in it's such a space with boxes of conformity. You know, Lauryn Hill, one of my favorite artists of all time. You know, got a really great song, "I Get Out of Boxes," which you know, she could.
I love that song.
You know the one. So us having a similar mindset to always be on the point to get out of boxes, to break out of chains, to break out of conformity. You know, conformity being any form. Some people will conform to this particular idea or belief, some will conform to that. So, you know, there's so many different things in society that try and put you into these boxes and these squares and these categories. So we just really just shake things up, we break out of that, we express real freedom, we express you know, real life and stuff like that, just tying in with about that life, being about something that matters in your life and stuff like that. So, you know, and then at the same time, you know, it ain't no secret that we're quite, some would say we're quite flamboyant, eccentric, or however we are in our appearance and our demeanor. And just like the 60s, when you had a lot of free birds who lived in that era as well, it freaked out a lot of the other squares and the squares to the establishment and other things. So we're kind of like that now. We freak out a lot of squares and stuff too, just being how we are, just being different, just going against the grain and stuff like that. So the difference is we're not scared to freak them out. So we're not trying to be insiders. We don't mind like being outsiders and doing our own thing. So, you know, we let our freak flag fly and we freak them squares out just like the 60s.
I love it. So, is there a specific genre of music that you specialize in?
I'd say, yeah, you know, because it's one of those things, because, you know, you go into it and then it's like, where's the level? Because we talk about genres and then once again we start going to attachment and labels and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like when I talk about music, first and foremost, I say I make music, but then you get a point where people are going to try and define you to a sound. Being pure to hip hop and having a huge love for hip hop for what it represents, and you know, being a field of music that I heard and really captivated me and taught me a lot. So I'm a student of hip hop, and I'm always doing my utmost to preserve the culture and the integrity of hip hop. But you know, along with that, people say, okay, well, hip hop was started in the States and this, that, and the other, and all the rest of it. So, you know, we've kind of come up with our own sound, which we call cosmic hop. So, you know, people who know me know that I get quite interplanetary, extra dimensional, and all that sort of stuff. So we're definitely cosmic jumping, cosmic hopping our way all around the universe, through time, through past, through present. We're here, we're taking elements from all over and throwing that all in the pot, mixing it up like gumbo, which is what they cook in the South. And you know, we're throwing that out there, and it's cosmic hops, what I'm coming with.
So Fonzie, how do you feel about the UK hip hop scene?
Gosh, UK hip hop scene. It's one of those ones where I have mixed thoughts on it, mixed feelings. You know, on one hand, you'll never hear me say that these guys shouldn't be out there being able to, you know, provide for their family, get their hustle on, get money, you know. But what we have to look at, to me, I'm always looking at the bigger picture. So I'm not one to get fooled by the razzle and dazzle and you know, the okie doke of glamour and, you know, conceived success and so forth. So, you know, hip hop's always been something that holds a certain level of wisdom, which has then been imparted down to other generations. And if we're talking about the harsh realities of the street, I have no problem with that, because this world is a place where, you know, somebody could live here and what's a reality to them isn't a reality to somebody who lives way down there. And there's those lines of attachment that are just so detached. There's no connection with it. So hip hop's something that's taught people throughout the ages, you know, just about what's going on in certain environments, and it's quite apt because different places you go, you will get different types of hip hop, if that makes sense. I mean, staying to the essence of hip hop, but you know what it's like for somebody growing up in like the South and like Louisiana in America at a certain period of time would be totally different to what was going on with somebody else in let's say New York or LA or even out here in the UK. So what we're looking at is the documentation in an accurate way of what's going on in your vicinity. what I think nowadays, especially within the UK, we don't see that. Me myself, you know, I'm a UK artist, and you know, some will hear me and say, "Well, I didn't think you was from the UK family sound."
Touch on that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always say to people, if we want to start there, before I go off, I don't want to go off way too much on a different tangent and stuff, but you know, I'm going to see if I can link these points in together really quickly because I know we're pressed for time. So if we was to talk about my sound, because this ties straight into hip hop. So me growing up here, linking that into my musical journey and just my journeys through life, period.
Yeah.
You know, my adventures, the adventures of FONZi NeuTRON, like I like to call them. So me forming an identity on who I am, especially as a young black male, who, when we grow up, what we're taught about our identity is pretty much nothing. All we're taught, you know, there was slavery, you guys are free now, that is it. Like, period, the end. The world's cool now, this and that's cool now, you can go here now, cool, the end. And you know, growing up in the city areas and that, you can see the struggle and the affliction that a lot of people go through, I should say. You know, trying to identify they're not who they are themselves. You know, and especially when I was growing up here in the UK, if we was to go and let's say we're watching the television or something, 1 to 4 channels, you know, Channel 5 wasn't even out at that time. You know, people that you seen on TV, you know, all white and stuff. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, we live in England, you know what I mean? But there's nobody you could see and identify with or anything like that. We had our family and stuff out here. My family, you know, Caribbean and American and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when cable and stuff really exploded here in the 90s and Sky and satellite and all that stuff, our generation here, who would have been the second generation of Afro-Caribbeans in the UK, we was privy to a lot of American influence in TV and lifestyle and stuff. Being able to see a lot of those blacks on TV and you know, strong black figures, and not just black figures, strong figures period, but a lot of the black figures that we was able to see, like, you know, whether it's Tupac and stuff in the music, you know, even just gaining knowledge of, you know, people like Farrakhan in the States and Malcolm X, and just like loads of different people who were talking and teaching knowledge itself. A lot of us then assimilated into that culture and it became part of our culture and stuff as well. So that kind of reflects through my sound and also through my music, which is where I say I keep that preservation of the true essence, what was, you know, kind of given to us in a sense. To fast forward from that, we go to the UK. Now what we've also seen is like a double-edged sword. On one aspect, you got the guys like me, like saying I'm above anybody or anything like that, but then on the other aspect, you got the other guys who, they also shape their identity, but their identity was shaped off, you know, the vanity, you know, the guys in the cars and the chains and the materials and you know, selling a certain type of ideology that, you know, it's cool to be ignorant and cool to be ghetto and cool to be this and that and bad and arrogant and all of that. And it's like, dude, no, it's not. Do you know anything about us as beings of this planet and what we were like and what we are like and what we can be like and what a lot of us actually are still like. So
if you could sum yourself up, sorry to put you there. If you could sum who FONZi NeuTRON was in a phrase, in a sentence, which is kind of hard for you.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Who are you? Tell us, who is FONZi NeuTRON?
Ever seen that video with Charles Manson that asked him who he was in the court and he pulled all those faces and he says, I'm nobody. But,
don't scare me that.
Yeah, nah, I'm me. I'm FONZi, you know.
Have you got
I'm
a
FONZi
message?
NeuTRON. You know, some people know me as King Cosmic. You know, some people know me as the Bout that emissary. You know, the architect of the BDL Mafia. And you know, I'm me. That's who I am. Like, I don't have I make music to challenge how people think. You know, I make music for people to think, to stimulate them some kind of thought process. Like, I think any real art should. Mm-hmm. Like, if it doesn't, then, you know, what are you doing it for, sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm just me. I'm somewhat of an enigma as a being of this planet, period. You know, you know, I'm me, FONZi, Cosmic Anonymous, you know.
So, FONZi, where can your fans find your music?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all over the World Wide Web, I think we call it.
Because it's not
Bout
just
That online.
It's not just you, is it? There's Bout That.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Bout That we're a growing empire. You know, Bout That's the enterprise, and we're skyrocketing at the minute, while a lot of others are plummeting. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, now Bout That, we're focused on elevation, expansion, creating space and opportunity for others, you know, and ourselves. We're not out here looking for any handouts or anything like that. We've got a bunch of great artists. Next year we're going to be releasing a lot more stuff internationally. We've got a lot of stuff coming this year from the BDR Mafia. The Adventures of FONZi NeuTRON, that's the project that I'm pushing at the minute.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be aptly titled Kid Cosmic, going on my alias. What we're looking to do with that is expand it as a 3-part series. I'm also tied in like a little bit of something written. I can't say too much. It may go towards a graphic novel direction, but there's quite a fair bit to tie in and stuff. So that's what we've got coming up. I mean, realistically, there's a lot coming. I can stand here harping on about it, but it's coming and they got to be ready for it. It's just a warning, a big one. So yeah, we're ready.
Okay, so to end the interview, I'm gonna try and put a little light spin on this interview.
Okay. Do you feel it was heavy?
No,
Was I just like,
no, definitely not.
I showed something to my mum the other day,
informative.
one interview that I did, and she was like, "How are you just attacking the person?" I said, "I ain't attacking them." I was just like,
You've just got strong views. You know who you are as a person, and you're comfortable with that, and it's refreshing to see. You're not a clone. You're not a robot. Like you said,
we're fighting the Clone Wars, and this is a warning to all you other types out there who want our planet back. We're taking it back. So deal with that.
You heard the man. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 3 artists who want to work with you, dead and alive.
Okay.
1 you get to call back. 1 you get to text. 1 you just have to avoid, unfortunately, because you're too busy. So the artists are Jimi Hendrix, yeah, Lauryn Hill, and Master P.
So it's what?
Or text avoid.
Okay.
Putting you on the spot.
Oh yeah, I mean I can flip it multiple ways, you know.
No,
I just need to have
ways.
a logical explanation for it. So.
Okay.
Okay.
You can elaborate, of course.
Oh yeah, I will. Okay, first up I'll call Master P. You know, that's the Colonel, so you know I'm gonna check it with a big homie, known him forever. Take over it's there. BDR Mafia, Money Mafia, all of that, like, so I'll be definitely calling P, saying, you know, what up to Silks, and saying my regards. So that's all good.
Text.
You know, I'd hit Lauryn Hill on the text. That's not to say I would call her, but I'd hit her on the text and say,
You call that?
oh yeah, well, it would be a pretty lengthy text.
Yeah.
And it will be, you know, conveying my admiration and respect for her work and all her efforts for us and the people and stuff. And you know, so it would be a lengthy text, and hopefully that could develop some kind of work. So it'd be good for me to just let somebody know how their music has touched me and stuff like that. So I would do that. I would avoid Hendrix because he's dead. Like, and
But if he went there,
if he was here, I'd definitely go with Hendrix somewhere in there as well. But then I'd put him No, I'll explain.
Okay.
I'd avoid Hendrix because, you know, some may know me as one of my aliases, FONZi Hendrix. And, you know, I won't go into psychedelia and stuff like that, but I reckon if me and Hendrix was to hang out, forget about it. I'll probably be ended up like, you know, whacked out, tripped out, like on some Charlie Sheen, rap style, crazy, like, you know, I ain't trying to go that. I'm trying to be moderate and all that. So yeah,
let's just
I'll avoid Hendrix on that too.
Hypothetically, this is not getting out of this that easy. Hypothetically, Hendrix is still alive. Would you still avoid him?
On that basis,
Do you wanna
with
get
those other
tripped out?
guys in the running, and just looking forward and saying, okay, boom, I'd say yeah. I just have to, you know, I wouldn't avoid them, like go out my way to avoid them, but I just wouldn't, you know, yeah. I can't hang out today, you know. Yeah.
Okay. That was great. Thank you, FONZi.
Thanks for having me.
You've been a pleasure to have. This has been Centre Stage here at Grosvenor Road Studio. I've been fun. You've been great. See you later, guys. Take it easy.